They'll be calling you a radical. We have some very sad news this morning. One of the great activists who I've stood in the street with, she is fantastic. I absolutely loved her, has passed away tragically from an asthma attack, a panic attack. Erica Garner has passed away. She was one of my favorite activists, one of my favorite people I've ever met in my life. Now, her father was choked to death. I can't fucking breathe. This is condolences from the Million Mass March Anonymous, which I have total authority to do. And so we're sending our condolences to the family. Now, I hope Anthony John or one of you guys in Brooklyn that live there can make it to the service. You know, get some flowers sent over there at least. And, you know, I can't be there. I wish I could. It's very heartbreaking. Let's remember, I want to say this. This is really important. Her father's death, okay, as tragic and the choking as it was, the panic. This is the ripples in the sea. These are the repercussions. She had a heart attack in childbirth. You know what kind of stress was put on that young woman? The death of her father, tragically like that. So he was young, so was she. Really young. Panic, that's what happens. That's what happened. How about everybody who stood by and watched? That's exactly what's happened to the Pacific Ocean. You know, she's been gang raped. She's been murdered in the Pacific Ocean. You know, the monsters that did it, the nuclear industry. How about everybody that supported and protected the nuclear industry? How about everybody that's protected the murderers? How about the courts, the lawyers, the judges, the contemporary society that justified his murder? You know, the murderer is one thing. How about the people that justified? Then how about all the people that stood by and watched him die? Not one person gave him resuscitation. Not one. Not one. Dozens and dozens of people stood by and just watched him die. Our condolences for the Million Mass March. I'll put up another video. I'm going to talk a lot about Fukushima, you know, and the salmon numbers that are out. The Senate offer hearing is going on right now as I post this video in just another hour or two in San Clemente. I hope you can show up. Not on the fucking beach. And I'm going to say this. WIP is open. We'll have our signs. I hope it's being going to WIP. Its evil sister, which I've named WIIP. I'll explain why in the next video. I'm going fishing on the Great Salt Lake to catch me some blue marlin. You know, I've set my projections just like Oregon. My projections are 256,000 blue marlin, 348 mermaids, and 628 unicorns. Fairy Tale America. Stand by and watch everything just go by. Not me. Our condolences to the family. We loved her. We loved Erica. I got to tell you, she was fantastic. I stood in the street with her. You know, I've hugged her. I mean, she's one of my favorite people of all time. This is a tragic loss to our group and our community. The Million Mass March, everybody, you need to rally around her family. It's a tragedy. She was fantastic. She had a heart attack, childbirth. These are the repercussions of murder. You know, and trust me, I know. I watched my father be murdered by the nuclear industry. He was much older than he. And the repercussions into me, I was in a bone marrow transplant. My heart failed like hers. You know, I had open heart surgery. Way too young to die. This is a tragedy. A tragedy. We have lost one of the truly great activists of our time. Rest in peace, Erica. You know, I always go back to Dr. King. Yeah, but more than that, I'm a original Malcolm X guy, you know. I used to teach a class about how they hijacked, and by the way, the whole Tupac thing and that thing, how they just completely commercialized his amazing, brilliant mind. He was not a, I mean, he was a radical, but he was not a freaking, he was a peace activist. I will quote him in her death. BBC interview, Malcolm X. And when I came home from Mecca, everything was different. Why? When I saw blonde-haired, blue-eyed freaking Muslims. The Mike Wallace interview with Malcolm X's daughter is one of my favorites ever. You can see her starting to cry. She was standing on the stage when Farrakhan ordered that murder. Everybody just climbed up. The guy who was convicted of the murder is out. He used to work at McDonald's. We used to go over and talk to him. She held her lip and listened to Farrakhan stand right there and just lie. She bit her lip and then she went off in her elegant way. Just cried. Just cried. That's all you can do at this point. That's all you can do is just cry. Stand tuned. Thank you for your brilliant activism, America. You were the greatest. I truly loved you. The Million Mass March loved you. She was one of ours. She was one of our family. So, stand tuned.